So everybody and their mother is building apps with Claude right now. You hop on YouTube, you hop on X, and it's literally 1,000 guys all going, yo, I built $1 million annually recurring revenue SaaS in a weekend, vibe coded the whole thing myself, look at me. And I get it, I do. I get why it's so appealing to the regular developer. But what I'm gonna tell you right now is something that probably sounds completely insane coming from a guy who runs a 7-figure B2B AI consulting firm. And that is that you need to stop. Just stop building apps with Claude. And it's not because the tool is bad. The tool is genuinely incredible. I use it almost every single day. But it's that you're taking the most powerful business weapon that we've literally had in decades, and you are pointing it at the one game you are basically least likely to win. And nobody is telling you this. Before I get into what you should be doing instead, let me first just say the thing out loud that nobody on your feed wants to go ahead and say, because everybody's either selling you the dream or selling you the doom. And that truth is that the fear is genuinely real. I mean, AI is definitely coming for the raw coding. It just is. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and pretend to you that it's not. Claude can literally run most of your coding tasks right now on schedule through the API. No server needed, no babysitting needed, all while you're asleep. They managed to automate the grunt work, and frankly, they are shipping more of it every single week. So if your whole identity, right, your whole value as a software engineer is simply being the guy who writes the code itself, I'm not gonna tell you that you're safe, because you're not. That value is dropping, and it's dropping extremely quickly. But here's the thing, that's not the end of the story. Okay, that's just the part where everybody clicks off and gives up and says, okay, it's over. So let me explain specifically why vibe coding apps is the wrong move for, I would say, about 90% of you. When you build an app and you throw it out into the world, you are playing what I call the global game. You're essentially going up against every single software engineer on the planet who is also doing the same exact thing, because the chances are most of you watched the same exact indie developer. That's the most crowded market to be in. And that's the most crowded room that has ever existed in software engineering history. And you're walking in there as a nobody with no audience. And all of these build in public guys that you keep seeing win time and time again, let me let you in on a little secret about them. And I've talked about this in the past. Most of these individuals are not winning because of their app or their coding skills or because their product is so good. They already had the audience, meaning that they had the most important ingredient for a successful SaaS that literally separates the winners from the losers, and that is distribution. An app with no distribution is like a Ferrari with no roads. You have this beautiful, mean thing, and literally you can't use it because there's no roads. And this whole fantasy of this junior hacker sitting in his basement quietly getting rich off of his code, that was always a movie thing. Very rarely does this actually happen in real life. In real life, distribution and marketing are literally 90% of what it takes to have a successful software. Now, here's what's actually happened the last week. And this is the most important part that nobody caught. On May 13th, Anthropic launched this thing called Claude for Small Businesses. And what it does, it basically plugs Claude right into all the tools that every normal, everyday business that you're familiar with already runs on. So QuickBooks, PayPal, HubSpot, Canva, DocuSign, Google Workspace, Microsoft, pretty much all the boring stuff that you've already heard of. And in that same couple of weeks, KPMG rolled Claude out to like 276,000 employees. PwC's putting it across all their client work. So now that you actually understand what's happening, I promise you nobody's telling you this. And what this is telling you is that big enterprise money is pretty much, for the most part, locked up. The big four got there first, and you're not gonna win that fight. But the 33 million small and local businesses out there, nobody's coming to save those guys just yet. Anthropic literally just built the rails for you to go out there and serve them. So on a fundamental level, Anthropic just told you exactly where the money is. They just didn't put it in a thumbnail for you that you might see on your YouTube feed. So here's what you should do as a software engineer instead of building your fourth to-do app using Claude. The developers who will win the next 5 years, they're not going to be the ones with the best application. They are going to be the ones that some local business owner actually trusts for them to walk into the door and make this stuff work for them. So what you need to do is become the AI guy or the tech guy in your own city. Not online, because online you are just one face in a million screaming into the same algorithm as everybody else. But locally, where chances are you might honestly be the only software engineer within a 50-mile radius that is actually able to go out and talk to people and get in these Chamber of Commerce events and BNIs and things like that, and also understands what Claude can even do. I mean, really think about that math for a second, okay? Online, you're going to be 1 in a million, competing with everybody. Furthermore, the competition is so much in terms of actual credibility. But in your own town, you can be the only one. You can have the same exact skill, but you can have completely different odds. And the best part is, the part that I personally love, is that you don't have to create the demand. You don't have to convince anybody that AI matters, because Anthropic is out there every single day spending literally billions of dollars doing that for you. Just recently, they announced their ambassadorship program, and they already got over 90,000 applications. So your only job is to be the guy standing there when that particular business owner finally goes, okay, I really gotta figure this AI thing out. And look, before you go, yeah, sure, Bigo, that all sounds nice in theory, but how do I actually go about doing it? Let me tell you a story about Paul, one of our founders from Code to CEO, my startup accelerator. When Paul first came in as a developer, he was in the same exact spot as a lot of you watching this video. And he didn't build an app, he didn't try to go viral, none of that. What he did is he went local. He used the same exact framework that I'm going to point you to. And he basically asked, and I kid you not, over 3,000 questions in the span of a year. And all of these questions had to do with basically who he is building for and what is he going to build. And he ended up landing his first paying client in a few months, a local person. From there, he ended up making more money in January and February of 2026 than the entire 2025 combined from his 9 to 5. And all of this from literally nothing. No audience, no distribution, no SaaS, no X following. Just a simple developer who stopped digging into the crowded mine and walked over to the actual empty one. Now, if you want the exact framework that Paul used, like the whole thing, step by step, I'm running a free workshop on June 21st that breaks down exactly how to become that local celebrity in your area. And it's the real playbook. It's not some teaser, it's not some, oh, but you have to do this first thing. The link is right below this video, so go ahead and sign up completely for free. Okay, so let's bring all of this home. Here's what we're actually at. Most individuals out there have access to the same tools that you do. Claude, ChatGPT, all these things. Some individuals are unaware of it. Others who are aware of it are using it to their best ability. The problem is that most people who are aware of it and are trying to use it are all watching the same exact individuals. And the same exact individuals are telling you to go try to build as many apps using Claude as possible and see which one hits. It's kind of like a lottery. Nobody is telling you about the biggest opportunity of our lives. And Anthropic, literally, take a look at what billion-dollar companies, one of the biggest companies that will be in the entire planet, is doing right now. They set up Claude for small businesses. That is not a coincidence. That is not a coincidence that they built out a product specifically tailored to small businesses. But once again, the problem isn't that there's no good products for these small businesses. The problem is that most of these businesses are either unaware, or if they are aware, they don't have anybody that they can trust to connect non-technical to the technical. That's where your job comes into play. Now, is this for every single software engineer in the world? No. But if you want financial freedom, if you want to work on something that you genuinely like, if you want to have a comfortable life where you're able to do pretty much anything you want from a money perspective, this is the life for you. Now, is this going to make you a multi-billionaire? Probably not. But you will most definitely have a few $1 million a year in income from doing this exact thing without having to literally do what everybody else is telling you to do in terms of build a personal brand, do this, do that, do that. If you do want to go down that path, you most definitely can, because if you become a local celebrity, you will have so much credibility to fuel your personal brand. One of the biggest problems right now with people just trying to build applications and trying to put it on Product Hunt or trying to market it is that not only do they not have the most important skill, distribution and marketing, right, that you need for a successful SaaS, is that they don't have a lot of credibility behind their name, even if they try to go to the personal brand route. But if you do the actual local celebrity model, not only will you gain the marketing skills while also making money, not only will you become a local celebrity in the sense of you will always have a full pipeline of clients coming your way, you'll never have to worry about money, but you'll also have the foundations needed if you do want to scale further. If you do one day want to get down to that $1 billion SaaS dream, you'll have the proper foundations now to go ahead and do that, because you'll have the money, you'll have the credibility to build a personal brand, you'll have the credibility to meet people better than yourself, you'll have the credibility to meet people up there that will help you get to where you want to get to even faster. Once again, I cannot stress this enough. This is the best formula right now for software engineers to take advantage of. Join your local chamber of commerces, attend every single type of business meeting that you have, join your BNIs. okay? Try your best to become the go-to AI guy in your city. Now, for those of you in big cities such as, let's say, New York or LA, where I'm from, you can have multiple people there because within these cities, there is still zip codes. Even if you become the local guy in your zip code, a lot of the zip codes in some of these big cities have upwards of cash flows of like 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion in a day. That's how much cash is flowing through these cities. So do not worry about competition. Do not worry about anything of that sort. Worst comes to worst, you can always even own a particular vertical, healthcare, manufacturing, logistics, whatever the case. There is so much opportunity out there for people to actually grasp. And I keep telling it time and time again, this is the best way for software engineers to get into. If you genuinely want financial freedom, working on something that you want to work on, being your own boss without striving for billions of dollars, this is the path for you. This is the exact path that I took. I'm extremely happy with where I am, and I'm just telling everybody to go out and do the same exact thing. Once again, this is the future. You maybe have 3 to 5 years before companies start doing this themselves, so take full advantage of that, and within 1 to 2 years, if you genuinely do this, properly set up KPIs on a week-to-week basis, month-to-month, and you try to become a local celebrity, within 1 to 2 years, you will make it. And then every single year after that, it's just going to be about scaling and growing it to a level where you want to get to. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.